Just a last couple of bits of data. In terms of perception around the value of the visioning process, I think this is important just to know, because it kind of points a little bit to, was this all worthwhile? And the real answer will be what you accomplished down the track, but was this process worthwhile? You can see nearly half of people are putting that as a 10 on a scale, which is, if you know anything about how people vote, that's remarkable. And then, do you think it's a good time to be exploring the future of Hilton Head Island? And we actually have 65% of people who are saying extremely good time. So I think the level of participation, obviously reflects this interest in and understanding it's a good time. If I could make a concluding comment, Sandy, is that I think we can debate the detail, obviously, right? But it's intended to be a framework. But I really applaud the community, and our work was really to design a process, make it enticing and engaging, making sure it was open and transparent, and to be able to pull the threads all the way through. And I think there's a really clear rationale that runs right through that story. I'm not of your community, right? But I get incredibly excited and inspired when I have reflected on what is possible, right? And you're the architects of that. You designed that. You're the ones who said, this is the kind of future we want, and these are the issues we need to deal with. And I absolutely firmly am left with the view after this process that if you just get some things, tweak some things and get those right, that you have the potential to be, a remarkable example and a much needed example for communities who are wrestling with many of the same issues. But you have sort of resources and internal capability that exceed many. You have the potential to be truly that laboratory, which was a term I think that came up a lot in the engagement process, whether it's dealing with cultural fabric issues of the history, and how do we make people who have lost some economic vitality, how do we make those a really key part of our society, and so on, right? So with that, Sandy, I'd just like to leave my comments there. It looks like I went on for a long time. So, but I think that the point of that is that there's an enormous depth in this story, right? And I think obviously you're going to want to read it and assimilate it. Just in terms of quick comment about next steps, obviously the Vision Project Management team is going to need to review and digest this. It's after 3 o'clock, so there should now be a survey up on the portal. So we've provided the reports on the portal, and we are inviting you to participate in a survey which is looking at and reacting to the strategic plan and the vision framework. We're assuming you're going to read it first, okay? So it's designed with some assumption about knowledge, right? But we're going to ask you to think about it and react to things like around the strategic pillars, things like your level of excitement, which of those sort of get you excited about what you could be in the future, your sense of urgency, sense of importance around those, and then at the level of the individual ideas, some sort of opportunity to prioritise those. But another key part of the survey is that for each of the strategic pillars, we're inviting you to say, how do we implement this? Imagine if the best brains in this island got together and, put in their thoughts about, in a constructive sense, about how do we implement, how do we move this forward and build that dialogue? And that's what we're going to invite you to do in that survey. So this is your first sort of crack at being able to go, okay, well, that sounds all great. I'm pretty excited about that and that. Well, don't care much about that, but the rest is good, right? Well, how do we make this happen? Okay? And this is where it gets down to real practicalities, right? And what resources and ideas can we draw in, and how do we, put some rubber on the road?